Hi guys, welcome to Print Cut Crafts Handmade Happy Hour, which we do every Friday. Let me just double check that we're in the right spot. Generally we are, but I want to just double check. So if you're new here, I help people use your Cricut machine and craft and make fun projects with that. And so on these handmade happy hours, we do different things. Sometimes it's a box opening. Sometimes we're making something fun. Today, I thought I want to show you, go over the different cutting mats and some blades and how to clean your Cricut cutting mat. So we're going to do that real quick, but let me just double check that we're in the right place. Yes, awesome. Okay, so basically what we're going to do is I want to show you something I just did though real quick. In fact, I need to get this link. Hey Susan, let me grab a link for you real quick. I just did this fun printable project with Pam from Pam Coxwell Designs. And so I ended up taking, she's a fine artist and she has her artwork all over the place, but I see her artwork locally in Hobby Lobby. Hey Joanne. And so I was just on her live and we just made some fun things with her printables. So I took one of her printables and then we took this butterfly shape and I had my husband who does all our laser cutting make it into a wood cutout. And so if you guys want to try this project, I'll give you the link for Pam's, goes like this, Pam's project that I did. But basically I took some of her printables and I did multiple layers and we made these fun little antennas. So that's a little shelf sitter. And we end up making a floral pick. And then in this little guy, my little antenna does not want to stay on, no matter how many times I glue this guy. We made a cute little tag with her printables. And so she has a printable club. And so I thought it would just be really fun to do something kind of 3D. So I took 2 layers of her little butterfly printable and then added it to our wood tag. So if I'll post a link in our group on where to find all those little, showing where I made those for Pam. Okay, so we're going to go over some cutting mats. Hey, Cheryl. And we're going to go over cutting mats and some cutting blades and then cleaning your cutting mat. Now, I want to go over the difference. In fact, let me switch this camera. I want to go over the difference in the cutting mats. And so this is my dirty one. So we're going to clean that one. But basically, if you're getting a Cricut machine, you need a cutting mat to cut your vinyl on. And they come in 4 different colors. Now, let me see if I can switch this. I don't use the Cricut brand cutting mat because they're very expensive. And so you can get a lot of different off-brand cutting mats on Amazon for really affordable. The same for blades. Well, Cricut's products are fantastic. They totally are. It's just that who doesn't want to save a buck, right? Hang on. My allergies are going crazy with this spring weather. And so I'm going to tell you what we're going to do or what you can cut on each cutting mat. Traditionally, most people use green. Green is the standard one, but I personally like the blue because it's light grip. And I don't like how sometimes, especially if you're using a brand new mat, they're very, very sticky. And so if you're using sometimes if you're using paper, it can really stick to it because it's just brand new and it's super duper sticky. And so I end up using my light blue for almost everything. And then if I need something stronger, I will go to the green for, like we just did, I'm going to trip over my stool. We just did these, let me switch this and show you. We cut out metal flowers for our monthly club project. And so I switched and did it with my green cutting mat since it's stickier. And so that one definitely for the metal, you probably even could use the purple one. But let me show you the difference in the cutting mats. Okay, so we'll start with the blue. The blue one, and some people take a Sharpie and write what you can cut on the plastic so then you don't forget. But the blue one is for printer paper, light cardstock, vellum, wrapping paper, washi tape. But I really use it for almost everything. I use it for cutting my vinyl, and I have no problems. As long as it's sticky enough, then it's going to be just fine. Now, the green one is your standard cutting mat, which a lot of people use as your standard one. Cheryl and Joanne, what one do you use every day? What color is your go-to cutting mat? But the green one is for cardstock, textured paper, embossed cardstock, iron-on vinyl, adhesive vinyl, just regular vinyl. That's where most people use the green one. Now, these two I use occasionally. Linda, you use the green one. The purple one is strong grip. So if you have glitter cardstock, glitter is a different beast, and glitter does need a stronger mat. So I would recommend, if you have used glitter, for sure, either the green or the purple, for thicker glittery cardstock, or something that just needs more grip. Bonded fabrics, chipboard, poster board, faux leather, balsa wood. I would use your purple mat for that. Now, the pink mat, and I'll show you a trick, although I don't have any fabric right here, but I can show you how I do it. But I use the pink mat to cut felt, and you could do crepe paper, woven fabric, stretch fabric, bonded fabric, any kind of fabric. But one thing I don't like about this one is if you were going to cut your fabric on here, because I end up using felt a lot, that you're going to get all your little fuzz on here. And so I'll show you a trick on what I do to keep my mat clean for that one. I end up using transfer tape. So I stick my, I take the cover off. I don't have any, should have grabbed a piece of fabric, but I don't have any fabric right here. I take the transfer, or let me get some transfer tape and I'll show you. Let's see. So I would take the cover off if I was doing fabric. And then I would stick my sticky transfer tape. So I would take this, my transfer tape has a wax paper backing. So I would take this off of here. And so it is wasting a little bit of transfer tape, but it's going to save your cutting mat. And so basically I would just line this up on here like this. So it's sticky side up. And then let me grab it. I have a couple little pieces of fabric. So this is what I have for fabric at the moment, right near my craft table. But if I was to do this, I would just stick my fabric on here, and it would be, you know, fit your cutting mat properly. But imagine it's a big piece of fabric. You would trim it, you would put it in your machine, and then this works really well for felt, because felt fabric is pretty fine. It doesn't really leave too much debris. It will leave a little bit where the blade cuts, but then you can just pick it up in the end, and then you're just really picking up the transfer tape, and your cutting mat is still nice and perfect. So let's see if we can save this guy and reuse him for something. So that is one trick that I do for fabric. So then also, when you're doing and you're taking anything off of here and this stuck to here, you want to flip these over and then pry it up. And this is where this one is super sticky. So you don't want to stick anything you don't need to on it, because it's just super, like, really strong grip. Okay, so you're going to put your cutting mat back on, or your cover sheet back on, to save it. And then I still have to save this because I can reuse this again and again until it's not sticky. Okay, so then I wanted to show you, for this pink one, you would use your rotary blade. I'm using a Maker 3, but you would use a rotary blade for fabric. You can use, if you have the Explorer, you can use your regular cutting blade for this, but you just have to check the setting, and it may not cut as well. So, and then depending on what the fabric is, you might have to use a deep blade. I've shown this before, but I've used this little box for years. This box cost me, I think, $9 on Amazon. And it comes with 3 different blades. It comes with a 30-degree blade, a 45, which is your standard blade, which you use every day. And then the blue one, which is a 60-degree, which is a deep blade. And literally, I have quite a few red ones. I don't even know how many came in here in the beginning. I've had this for years. And so this is literally the price of one Cricut blade. They sell a lot of varieties of these on Amazon, and I'm sure they're all the same exact type things. But basically, you would just take this, and I'll show you how to replace a blade too. And then you can replace a blade on your let me grab it, your little housing. And so you would just take this, it's magnetic, and so you can see, you can pull that out. And then also, if your machine's not cutting correctly, I would go in here and check, is there paper stuck in there? Is there vinyl stuck in there? And then some people, you can use your fingers, or you could use, I don't have pliers right here. You can use pliers to kind of grab it, but it's magnetic. And so what I would do is I would take this new one, pull the cover off, set it aside. I put the cover back on the old one. And then you could throw that away. And then you just stick this in here, and it's got a magnet in there, and it just sucks into the bottom. And then you can see the blade, you've got a new blade. And then you would just do that. So that's the blades. And then I love this one. This one is like one of my definite go-to when I'm cutting any kind of felt or fabric. And then I do use the pink when I'm cutting fabric on that. So I want to show you the other thing I want to show you real quick. We're just having a super quick tutorial for you guys today for this stuff is how to clean your cutting mat. So you can see I have my extra transfer tape. If I have extra pieces, sometimes I'll just stick it to my cover sheet so then I can reuse it and I know where it's at. But in the meantime, I've got a dirty cutting mat. You can take a baby wipe, and then I'm going to take Windex, and then you can clean it. And then I'm going to get my scraper tool, and then I am going to just wrap this around there. And then you can give this a good scrub. And then you would let this air dry, and then it will, once it's air dried, you would put your cover sheet back on. But it needs just a little bit to like air dry to get the stickiness back. And this just cleans this up. Look how gross that is. Yuck. Hey, Stephanie. And so that is definitely one, like an easy way to clean your cutting mats and just to repurpose them. And then sometimes, so I'm just going to let this air dry, but like, look how much dirt came off of like that cutting mat. So you just leave this out to air dry for like an hour or so. And when it feels dry and sticky again, then you would put the cover sheet back on. But what do you guys clean your cutting mats with? So I'm going to let that dry. I'm going to set that aside to dry. But what do you guys clean your cutting mats with? I know there's different solutions people do. Some people get this cleaner from like the Dollar Tree or something sometimes. But everybody has generally some Windex. And so it cleans pretty easily, very easily. I'm just with scrubbing it with the baby wipe. So we're just doing a super short tutorial today for our Friday Handmade Happy Hour. I'm having trouble connecting my Cricut machine. I was going to do a Cricut tutorial on uploading fonts, but I don't know. I think it's time for the Maker 4 because this Maker 3, I think it might be dead. I don't know. We're going to see. I'm going to try to bring it back to life today, but if not, I'll be on the hunt for a Maker 4. So that's what I wanted to go over today was the differences in the cutting mat. Where to get, you can get on Amazon, just the basic cutting mats. And a lot of times they come in multiple bundles. So for the price of one Cricut cutting mat, you can get like 4 regular cutting mats. And I use, this one happens to be, this one doesn't say the brand on it. I've used multiple brands on Amazon, but the HTV Ront one, I like those. One thing you do need to be careful of, there are a couple brands. I've gotten some larger 12 by 24. Hey, Vivian. 12 by 24 cutting mats before, and they are not true sizes for the to fit into the machine. They're like more than a 1/4 inch off, and they fit funny in the machine, which doesn't help you cut accurately. So those I had to send back. But other than that, that one purchase of the bigger cutting mats, all the 12 by 12s I've had have cut great and fit great in the machine. And you can see lots of options when you go to Amazon and go search that. But you can get them at I think the Dollar Tree now carries some cutting mats. Not 100% sure, but I believe so. And then I think at Hobby Lobby, I've seen there's other brands they carry besides just Cricut that have cutting mats too. So that's what we're going to go over today. And we did. And so if you guys have questions about that, we're going to be starting to do a series here also on Design Space and the buttons that are used in Design Space. And I only use a set amount of buttons, and we can make some really fun things with just, you don't need all the fancy bells and whistles on all the buttons on the Design Space, because you can make really cool things with just the basic buttons. So go get some Windex, go clean your cutting mats, let them air dry, and then put the cover back on and start the week fresh with fresh, clean cutting mats. But I will see you guys back here next Friday for a super quick tutorial. I want to do a craft next week. So as long as I get my Cricut machine running, then we're going to be doing a craft next week. Otherwise, it'll be another tutorial until I fix that. So see you guys next week on our Friday Handmade Happy Hour. Bye, guys.